Human activity is affecting the self-regulating ability of the planet. Scientists have done research and found that we are reaching a tipping point. In an effort to make change, they have defined boundaries in which humans can survive. The United Nations introduced goals known as Sustainable Development Goals that are aimed at effecting change in areas of critical importance for humanity and the planet. Today, we will demonstrate the planet's current state and how microplastics are contributing to the Earth's pollution. What exactly are the Sustainable Development Goals? How business activity is affecting them, and finally, what is being done to create change?
What are planetary boundaries?
As mentioned earlier, sadly, scientists found that there's a tipping point to the Earth's self-regulating system. This is the capability of the Earth to provide optimum conditions for human development. Gradual changes in the environment can eventually lead to unexpected disastrous change.
Can you explain this easier?
Imagine that you are blowing up a balloon. Although you can probably calculate the rate of air and the balloon expansion rate, you do not know when it's going to burst.
What is being done about this?
Scientists have found biophysical markers of the Earth system have been quantified in order to define a safe operating space for humanity. These are known as the planetary boundaries. Let's look at the following diagram that shows the 9 different planetary boundaries. The inner circle is the boundary we do not want to cross, and as you can see, we have surpassed it for biogeochemical flows and biosphere integrity. Some boundaries are still undetermined, such as novel entities.
What are novel entities?
They are substances that can radically alter or kill life on the Earth with irreversible consequences. Examples include organic pollutants, heavy metal compounds, and radioactive materials. These substances can have severe effects far removed from the source of pollution, such as the dramatic reductions in bird populations and the impaired reproduction and development of marine mammals. Today, we are talking specifically about the novel entity, microplastics.
What are microplastics?
Microplastics are the most common form of marine pollution. They are basically small pieces of plastic that are less than 5 millimeters in diameter.
Where do they come from?
There are 2 ways microplastics can be developed. They can be manufactured such as fibers, microbeads, and capsules. These are called primary microplastics. Secondary microplastics come from large particles of plastics that have broken down over many years. It is estimated up to 1.5 trillion tons of microplastics enter our oceans every year. 98% come from land-based activities, in particular tire tread.
Why are microplastics bad?
Over 3 billion people rely on marine and coastal resources for food and livelihood. The United Nations recognizes oceans as critical to human health and has introduced Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water. This SDG specifically aims to reduce marine pollution of all kinds, in particular from land-based activities. Microplastics are being found in the tissues and circulatory systems of marine animals at the bottom of the food chain. These toxic particles are causing genetic mutations, organ damage, and reproductive problems. This is not only a major threat to the ecosystem, but also to human health as we are consuming this toxic seafood. As novel entities has not yet been defined, we do not know how much microplastics are too much. One of the largest contributors to microplastics are from tire tread, which also contains zinc oxide, which is highly toxic to marine life.
How do we reduce the effects of microplastics?
One way to reduce its effects is by achieving SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production. SDG 12 links to SDG 14, Life Below Water, as it aims to reduce the release of chemicals and waste into water, soil, and air.
So what are we doing about it?
Recently, every country in the UN signed a resolution committing to eliminate plastic pollution in the sea and to explore legally binding measures within 18 months. including plastic bags, plastic packaging, recycling plastic, even the number of drinking straws in Bali. Or else by 2050, there will be more plastic in the world's oceans than fish, but there was no talk about microplastics such as tire tread. Action against microplastic is currently focused on microbeads, eliminating them from personal care products like body scrubs, exfoliating cleansers, toothpaste, and moisturizers. They get into the ocean through sewerage systems. Law will be in place July this year. Companies are already using better alternatives. All this focus on microbeads, but they only make up to 2% of microplastics in our ocean. Tire tread microplastics make up 28%.
What is being done about tire tread?
As one of the largest sources of microplastic pollution, tire tread has zero action looking to prevent it. And it's getting worse, as vehicle numbers are only increasing. 1.2 billion now, 2 billion by 2035. Innovations like electric cars, due to the increased weight, are going to make it worse. Currently, wear-resistant tires are being sold as a fuel-saving option. They do reduce microplastic pollution as they wear over a longer period of time. Road made from open-graded asphalt also reduces tire waste reaching water systems by trapping the larger tire wear and tear into the road itself, but it is only marketed as a cheap alternative. The recognition of tire waste as a sustainability issue just simply isn't there. The world can't ban tires like they can microbeads, as driving is simply too important. The world needs someone or some business to hero this cause, so we can start thinking about what we leave behind when we drive away.